Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of
the Daily Aztec Debrief.
I am your host, Rami and Jaylynn.
And I'm your co-host, Jaylynn Vega.
And today we have our first guests of the podcast.
Yay!
Too excited. We rolled out the red carpet. Calista and Bella are here, the editors-in-chief of the Daily Aztec. I guess if any of our haters said we couldn't have anyone important on, then
we did it.
We do now. And we want our apology in writing. How are you guys feeling?
Good. Yeah. I'm never I don't know. Whenever there's a mic in front of me, I'm usually singing into it, not talking into it, so.
Oh yeah, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Why is that?
Because I'm president of an a cappella group.
Mm-hmm. Not just the DA.
Yes, it's like Pitch Perfect. Yes, we do the same competition. Hope this helps. So, yeah. About me, I guess. I'm a fourth-year journalism major, sociology minor. Co-editor-in-chief of the Daily Aztec, president of Society of Professional Journalists chapter here, and then president of Soundwave a cappella. And yeah, I've been doing the DA consistently since my sophomore year, so this is like year 3.
Oh, sweet.
Cool. I am Bella, co-editor-in-chief also of the Daily Aztec, and a fun fact about me is I am not a journalism major, and I do not plan to pursue journalism, so This is more of a side quest for me, but I'm a fourth-year psychology major with an emphasis in neuroscience, and I want to go into occupational therapy, but I've just always loved photography and journalism and writing, so I did yearbook for 7 years, and I just didn't want to give that up, but that's not a thing in college, so I thought I would dip my toes into newspaper, and I've been a part of the Daily Aztec this is my 4th year doing it, so a long time. I was photo editor and managing editor in another life, 2 years ago, so I guess that's exciting, and then I'm the president of the pre-occupational therapy club at SDSU. And then I just go on assorted side quests. I do a lot of volunteering in the autism and disability community. I'm not going to list it out. But yeah, just nice. A lot of fun stuff. And then I just love journalism. Been doing it for a long time. I love storytelling. I love helping other people tell stories and giving feedback and just putting out good content.
How wonderful. It always does surprise me whenever I hear that you're a psychology major, because this is a really big side quest.
It is. Technically, if we're thinking about the number of years, this is my 13th year doing writing/journalism/photo.
That is kind of crazy. Do you know about Best Buddies?
I do.
Are you a part of Best Buddies?
I am not.
I just have a couple friends, and they were pretty big on it. I think all 4 years, too.
Yeah, I went to a couple of meetings, but I prefer to do volunteering in the San Diego community so that I can reach a larger audience and not just people at SDSU.
Fair.
But, yeah.
Heard. You guys have some pretty impressive portfolio and repertoires. You're like the president of every club on campus, essentially.
Yeah, me and Bella combined, you got about just every RSO.
You guys are covering a very wide net of SDSU.
We're establishing a dictatorship over all the RSOs.
If you're in a club, chances are
one of us is going to be your president. No, I'm just kidding.
You have to report to
There's
Bella and Calista.
200 RSOs, so.
Yeah, I know.
We make up 4% of it.
Jaylynn and I made up one club, improv.
Very true.
That's one between us. So maybe in the whole room, that's every single RSO.
Probably, yeah.
Got it covered.
The important ones.
Yeah, all the important ones.
Check all the boxes.
Anyway, getting straight into things, it was nice meeting you guys. I'm glad you guys were the first ones. I feel like that's very fitting. And also, to my understanding, you guys put out a pretty interesting story just last week, a real-life sit-down interview with Adela, our very own SDSU president. Before even getting into the kind of content and meat of the interview, set the scene. What led up to the interview, and what was the motive behind interviewing her in the first place?
So over the summer, it was kind of a goal of ours to, at some point, get her to sit down and for us to do a piece on her. And we actually thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it was. We had a plan for us to reach out to media relations to set up an interview with her monthly and then bi-weekly until they responded. And we got it on the first try. So
yeah, the stars aligned.
Wow, and that's not. Yeah, I mean that's rare, right?
Well, this is the first time that we're aware of that the Daily Aztec has had the opportunity to sit down with her, and we're not sure if that's due to her not allowing us to talk to her or if we just never even attempted to, but she's only been president for a couple of years, so it could be either or. But it was really nice to get it on the first try. I mean, we were, like Calista said, we were preparing to be super professionally persistent with her, and Corey, the media relations coordinator, set us up, so it's not as difficult as we expected it to be.
Yeah, we actually had to move the meeting because Bella got sick on the day that it was supposed to be.
Oh.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate.
And we were like, we're gonna have to delay it for like she's not gonna be available until like 2026. Like we were kind of like nervous that she wasn't gonna like set up a sooner time or like a soon time with us. And then we were like, okay, like we're gonna like postpone. Bella's sick, but like if there's no like availability in the next few weeks, like we'll figure it out. We can make tomorrow's time work. And she's like, okay, no problem. How's Friday? They're like, okay. So it was only delayed by 2 days, which was surprising because we thought it was going to be like, oh, we missed our like one shot. We're going to have to wait now, but it really wasn't. So.
Yeah, and as far as actually getting there, it was interesting because we had never been to Adela's office. I actually have never even been to Manchester Hall before. I've just seen it in passing, and we walked in, and it's like just a regular building, and then there's a door for the president's office, and she has an entire front desk for her office. So there's like an entire staff, and she has a personal assistant too. And Corey escorted us through the whole thing, so she walked us in and she checked us in, and then they opened up this little door so that we could walk through the front desk and go to her office in the back. And she came out to greet us, and then she walked us back to her office, and it was like hidden in the corner. So we had to like go through the doors. And her assistant, I remember, asked her, or no, she requested tea. She asked her assistant for tea, and she was like, oh, like, can I get you guys anything? Do you guys want water or coffee or tea? And we were like, oh, we're good, because we were just like in shock that was even like a thing. And then she was like, I forgot his name, but she was like, oh, like, can you get me a tea? it was very like high status, like, get me a tea.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
kind of interesting. I didn't know she had an assistant.
I didn't know she had this whole team in front of her office.
Yeah. It's
I
like
also
guarded.
didn't know that she had. So she has a pretty big office, like as you would imagine, and it's pretty like she has her kind of big desk, and then she has like kind of like cabinet like back wall with a bunch of like shelves kind of in the back wall with like a lot of decorations and things like that, and then she has a little like glass table. So it's like see through, like when you're sitting at the table, you can see your feet like below you,
Yeah.
and there's like 6 chairs or something. But she also has this like villa style like patio, like outside of her office.
It's around the whole
like,
Manchester Hall. It's like a big wraparound thing.
it's
This is
because her
incredible.
office is in the corner of Manchester Hall, so it's like it kind of starts at that corner, and then there's like an entire hallway. We got a picture of her like, in front of it, like kind of an entire like outdoor hallway, like along the side of the building, and it faces out to Cal Coast Theater. So that was like crazy. It was like its own like apartment.
Yeah, I'd asked her if she wanted to take some photos outside, and first we did the interview, and then after I asked her for photos, and I was like, oh, we should go outside and, you know, get some natural light. And she admitted to us that she doesn't really use her balcony. It was, the table was a little dusty, the chairs were a little dusty, and I was like, oh, feel free to sit anywhere you're comfortable, let me know what angle you like. And she's like, oh, I honestly never come out here. And I was like, that's so interesting, because this is such a beautiful balcony. I would love to come out here. And yeah, we were just appalled that like she has such a nice balcony, and it gets little use, I guess. But I don't know, maybe us bringing her out there reminded her of how nice it is.
I hope so. I mean, I'm definitely curious about her interior design. So this is all very good to know, including the big team and the unused balcony and the tea. The tea's
There was a waterfall too. I just heard it. It was like waterfall ASMR. I couldn't find it, but I'm pretty sure it was one of those little waterfalls that you like. It just has like little rocks on the bottom and it makes noise. But I heard that somewhere, and I asked her if she had an interior designer because I was curious, and she said she did it herself. So
on top of things. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Next interview, Adela De La Torre's Pinterest board.
right.
True. We got to figure out what her inspiration is. I'd like to know.
Yeah, it's
The
a pretty
waterfall.
standard office, but the waterfall was interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't expect some background noise. It was kind of nice to fill the awkward silence. that we experienced in certain questions.
What about the interview itself? What were you guys hoping to cover?
Everything.
Everything and anything?
Yeah, we didn't get to all of our questions that we wanted to ask. We only had 30 minutes with her. But we were kind of trying to cover all of our bases. Obviously, like, we missed some stuff, and there's some stuff we wish we would have asked. But next time.
Next time. Apparently the interviews are easy to set up.
Apparently, yeah. We really wanted to get into controversial questions with her, but we wanted to soften the mood, and we had some awkward small talk, and then we got into the questions. And the first one we asked her was about a day in her life, because we're curious, you know, the people want to know, what does Adela do? And she gave us a very detailed rundown of how she gets on her Peloton in the morning, and sometimes she takes meetings from her Peloton, and she really prioritizes petting her dogs. It was very on par for what I would expect from someone who is a top dog of the school, like you mentioned.
Fair.
And I don't own a Peloton personally. I looked up the price. It's over $1,000, but that makes sense.
Give one Peloton to each student.
Yeah, SDSU giveaway. Yeah.
Just to live in the life of Adela.
Instead of a like $5 like bookstore, or like, what do they do, like the like $25 bookstore gift cards, and like the $5 Starbucks, which is a Peloton.
One signed Adela Peloton.
Yeah, Adela merch. Adela.
Okay, interesting. And you guys were hoping to cover a day in her life, and what were the more controversial questions that you guys just didn't get to?
Ooh, we really wanted to ask her about policy, and just like, we really wanted to ask her how she feels about the protests on campus and the time, place, and manner. Yeah. And we didn't get to it. She ended up talking about AI for a really long time, and we did want to ask more questions relating to AI, but she kind of took that topic and ran with it. Calista can probably tell you more because she was taking notes on it.
Yeah, what about AI?
Yeah, so that was probably the fourth question we asked, like third or fourth, something like that. It was like halfway through the interview. We asked her just kind of a general question about like AI implementation on the campus, and she talked for 8 minutes about AI. We had 2 follow-up questions, didn't ask those.
Understandable.
And then because of that, we only got to ask her like a couple more questions that we didn't get to. The time, place, manner, like protest question, unfortunately. But like I said, next time.
We did get to ask her about Greek life, but she didn't take much of a stance. The only, I guess, informational part of that question is we asked her if she felt like she was pushing the problems that arise with hazing and fraternity parties onto the community versus the school taking responsibility, because she just has these rules put in place for, you know, parties to, you know, meet certain standards if they're going to be on campus, but if they're off campus, there's, you know, it's not as strict, right? No one's watching you. And when we asked, do you feel that this is pushing the problem off campus, these restrictions that you have for parties that should be happening, you know, they shouldn't have to go far away to like do things they shouldn't be doing. But she said that she feels like the policies they have in place are good, and that no, it does not push it onto the community. That was the only response where we got a clear, she said not really. She did not say no, she said not really. So that was kind of interesting, and she didn't really elaborate on her actual opinion on Greek life and what she plans to do with it, but more so she highlighted the fact that you can, you know, report something and not get in trouble for reporting underage drinking, or if you need help, which I think is a great policy, but she didn't directly give us her opinion on Greek life. So I do wish she expanded on that a bit more, but again, we were a little short on time. So
yeah, for a lot of the questions, it was kind of, we'd ask her like her stance or her opinion on something, and she would kind of talk from like a school-wide level. She'd be like, there was a lot of like, we were like, what do you think? And she would be like, we, like, a lot of we.
I see.
Like, if you made a word cloud of every word Adela said in the interview, we would be the biggest word.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was more from like, was it an SDSU stance or was it from a CSU stance?
I would say more SDSU.
Okay.
Anytime there was anything that was directed to CSU, it would kind of be like a, because Corey was there too on the interview, the media relations director, and she'd be like, oh, the CSU, like, we'll send you a link to whatever, like, CSU policy this is or something.
Yeah, anything outside of SDSU on a larger scale was outsourced to resources online, websites online, very general statements. The AI took up most of the interview, and even with that, all we got out of it is that she did take student surveys into account before making the decision. She did say that if students didn't want it, that she would be hesitant to go for it, but she also mentioned that the response rate was 23% of students, which she stated was abnormally high. So I suppose that's abnormally high. I don't know what the normal statistics are, but there were a series of surveys done, and the main thing we got out of that is she tried to get everyone's opinion before making the decision or advocating for SDSU to get AI resources.
I mean, that is interesting considering the whole AI-empowered university system thing is a CSU-wide thing and not an SDSU-wide thing. So I wonder what jurisdiction she had on that. Did she get into that at all? She might have outsourced that info, too.
She didn't say much, just
Fair
that
enough.
she was really proud of the numbers on the survey, and she would have been more hesitant if students did not want it, and faculty were a little bit less pro-AI, which makes sense. It's a generational thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was all she said about it. I mean, in a lot of words, 8 minutes of words, that's pretty much what she said about it, and that she feels like it's advancing and it's not a bad thing, and students shouldn't feel like they should get in trouble for using it, which I think is good to know. But I know many professors have an AI thing in their syllabus that outlines it, so I know students have certain feelings about that. Like, why give the students access if it's going to be restricted or regulated, or they're going to get in trouble for certain things, which, again, she didn't comment much on.
Fair enough, I guess. Is there any other questions that you guys kind of touched upon?
We talked about, we asked her about her daily routine. We asked her about Greek life. We asked her about AI.
We asked her about tuition, too.
Yeah,
Any funding.
Yeah, we asked her about, general, funding questions. There's one that I'm forgetting. Big topic that we asked her.
Yeah, I have to think about it. I forgot to.
I swear I don't remember. At the end of the interview, we asked her if there was anything else that we should have asked her, or anything else that she wanted to talk about. And she kind of mentioned that, she called it, advancing, or expanding access. She called it expanding access. Those are the words she used.
Okay.
And what I kind of got from that was that, because she cited, we have 43,000 students on campus this fall, it's, highest number of applicants, highest number of, fall enrollment, whatever, and she kept calling it, referring to expanding access, which makes me think, SDSU is just going to keep growing. She was talking about, speeding up degree processes, getting people out in 3 years instead of 4, which I was a little confused about because it was kind of in reference to funding and money, and wouldn't it be better for the school financially to get you out slower than it would be to get you out faster? So maybe she's thinking about higher turnover rates. Because she said if I can get you out in 3 years, it's cheaper than if I can get you out in 4.
That was a direct quote.
Yes.
Stated by Adela herself.
Maybe
but
she's saying,
it would be cheaper for the students, but it wouldn't be cheaper for her if I'm not.
In the context of the question, it didn't make a lot of sense because we were asking what the future of funding looks like, and it's well known that a lot of the funding comes from donations and alumni, which, donations aren't guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we were curious, what are the plans for the next years? How much is tuition going to raise? And when we asked the tuition question, that one was outsourced to CSU. She said it's a set rate. She has nothing to do with it. How true that is, I don't know. But that's the information we were given, and they sent us some resources to look at the numbers. And then as far as what Calista was talking about, she was just talking about how, I guess it saves students money, but then she also went into the Mission Valley project, where I guess, I didn't fully look into it, but I guess SDSU is partnering with community colleges, and the community colleges are going to pay for a building in Mission Valley that's going to be an SDSU building. I guess to expand, I guess they can take more students if there's more infrastructure. I'm guessing that's kind of the goal of that. But the way she briefly explained it was that the community colleges are paying for the infrastructure and they're paying for everything to get set up, and then we just get to use it. So I guess that's integrating transfer students maybe, and they start in those community colleges, and because of that partnership, then they can come to SDSU. But she didn't talk too much about the specifics of that.
Yeah, she did mention transfer pathways. like, I know there's already a partnership with some high schools, like local high schools. I'm not super familiar because I'm not from San Diego originally.
Fair.
But I think there's some high schools that like have a program where you can kind of get automatic entry into SDSU, and then I think some community colleges might have that as well. But she did talk about like transfer pathways when she was talking about like expanding access. So
maybe transfers. I mean, that's a source of income in and of itself. Is that the hope?
maybe.
Sounds like it.
Fair enough.
You know, more infrastructure,
it's
more
kind of-
students.
It's a lot of like reading between the lines,
Yeah.
like of what she's saying. But you can't be sure, obviously, unless we were to ask her a follow up, which we didn't have time to ask follow ups.
I will say that they were very time constrained very time constrained. I don't know if that's a word. Whenever it came to our interview, because we were taken back a couple of minutes late, and right at like the 25 to 26 minute mark, Corey was like, "That's all the time we have," because I also had to take photos, and she has back-to-back meetings all day. So that was another thing, is we had more that we wanted to talk about, and I know at the end she had asked us like, "Oh, did we talk about everything you wanted to talk about?" And I was like, "No," but we were like, "Oh, like thank you for your time, we got what we could out of you." But it was definitely 30 minutes goes a lot faster in real life than you may think, especially if there's one hot topic that the reporter asks a question about, and then the responder just goes on and on. So you never know how it's going to play out. But if we get the opportunity to interview her again, we definitely have higher priority items now that we got the fluff out of the way.
Yeah, you have the questions down now.
Yeah,
You know what to
we definitely
ask.
thought of some follow-ups after that we would have loved to ask, but time is our biggest constraint. So we hope to interview her again, maybe at the end of this semester, start of next semester. We do want to make it an annual or semi-annual thing to sit down with her and debrief.
Wow, like this
Wait,
podcast.
It could be
Yeah.
like the Billie Eilish video on YouTube every
True,
year.
the Genius interview,
Yeah.
where she interviews every single year. I mean, I feel like there should be a pathway of like maybe students could look forward to some sort of interview like this every
Yeah.
year, and I feel like it's normal for some sort of media team like the Daily Aztec to have an interview with higher up like Adela.
She seemed really excited about it.
Well, good.
Which I don't know if that's just her like media face, like media training speaking, or if she was actually like really excited to talk to us. She did ask for a Daily Aztec sticker.
Oh,
So
she wants to rep our merch.
Yeah. She's showing support. We were telling her how this was after the interview, it was off the record, right?
Yeah.
But we were talking about stickers, and I was telling her, she saw all the stickers on our laptop, and I was telling her that if you walk around campus, like students everywhere have stickers, and she seemed so appalled that was a trend, that people put stickers on their computers. And then she saw our Daily Aztec sticker, and she's like, "Oh, I want that, like I'll do that too." But it was just funny because I feel like that's such a common thing for everyone to have stickers everywhere,
Yes.
but she had never really seen it.
I have stickers on my computer. Everyone does. Water bottle, car.
Yeah.
I don't have any
You don't have any stickers?
on either my water bottle or my laptop.
Adela would connect with you a little bit more.
I think so.
Yeah, you might see eye to eye.
Next time. I'm coming for you,
you
Adela.
just gotta check in at the front desk.
You'll get offered a coffee
wait for
or a
5
tea.
to 10 minutes, and then you can have that conversation.
Make
I'm
some
a big
small
tea
talk
guy.
with Corey.
Yeah, if you're a tea guy.
I'm a big tea guy.
And then photos are going to start right at the 5.
That's perfect. I can do that. I could do that.
Well, are there any final thoughts that you guys wanted to get out regarding the interview? Anything that we didn't touch on, I guess?
I think we are proud that we were able to get in contact with her.
Of course.
We're happy that we had the opportunity to ask her questions, and it kind of just makes us hungry for more. I mean, she was willing to talk about some hot topics, and when we do this again, not if, when we do it again, we want to ask her more specific questions and be really calculated with the types of things we ask her and make it super specific. I think that's my only final thought, is that I kind of wish we were more specific, but again, we had never talked to her ever, so we were just trying to cover all our bases.
Yeah, the kind of goal of this interview was more just kind of establishing that connection with her, because we have never talked to her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been president since 2018,
Somewhere around there,
2019,
for sure.
something like that. And then COVID happened, obviously, and then I don't know if we've tried again since, like Bella said. But the goal of the interview wasn't to, we're going to expose. It wasn't an expose.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been interesting. But we weren't trying to go in there guns a-blazing for our first and just ask her, because we wanted to kind of cover everything just in case we didn't get to sit down with her again. So we kind of wanted to ask a lot of things. But, if there's something that comes up or maybe something more specific we want to hone in on next time, I think we're open to doing that, so we can actually get some follow-ups in there and maybe get some more info.
And if it does happen again, we'll have you on, no problem. That's a very interesting interview, and I hope to see more out of Adela and Daily Aztec Communication. I thank you guys both for coming on.
Yes.
Both
thank you.
co-editors-in-chief of the
So
Daily
fun.
Aztec. We kicked it off with a pretty high bar interview for the first episode. Okay, sweet. Everybody say goodbye to Calista and Bella.
Bye.
But please stay, because we're going to talk about some more DA stories and
Yes.
some fun stuff with Jaylynn and I. So we don't want to send everybody off yet, but
Not yet.
thank you both.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Just Jaylynn and Rami in the studio now. Let's talk about a little DA reporting this week. In terms of sports, SDSU's very own men's soccer team just broke a 4-game losing streak and a 2-0 shutout over Yale. Our goalkeeper put up 3 crucial saves in his second career start, and with 15 total fouls for SDSU and only 8 for Yale, many were talking about the brutality of the ref.
Transitioning over to a different kind of football, the Cal Berkeley Golden Bears had stayed undefeated and has faced the Aztecs in a prime-time non-conference clash. The Bears have held an explosive early season, and staff writer Tyler Bound suggests a pressure-heavy strategy.
Wonderful. And in the news, some big changes for those who study in the library. The 24/7 study area has been renamed to the After Hours study area and will only have 24-hour availability during finals weeks. The school determined this because of rising costs when it comes to hiring security and tracking the study area's usage over the semester.
The Movimiento Estudiantil Chicanx de Aztlán at SDSU held a protest last week at Hepner Hall over Supreme Court immigration rulings. These protests are over the administration's silence on the attacks against the Latino community and the Supreme Court's ruling regarding racial profiling. The protest was announced on Instagram, where their post read, "We stand in solidarity with the city of Los Angeles. No one is illegal on stolen land."
Now, look out for these stories under the news section upcoming. New AI bachelor's degree offered here at SDSU. We'll be covering that. The first all-female AS student leadership in SDSU history, and the 5 new frats on probation as of 2025.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
My roommate is the VP. Shout out Milan Rose.
Of one of the frats or one of the sorority? Oh, wait, of AS student leadership.
Yes.
Oh, congrats. Yeah, shout out her.
Shout out Milan. Shout out Kareen.
Oh,
Shout
now we're going to...
out, I think Abby.
They're going to talk about conflict of interest now.
Wait, why?
I mean, if you have a connection with AS, people are going to start talking about, is the Daily Aztec Debrief, is it biased or something like that? I hope
No,
not.
we're not biased. We're not biased. She was my roommate last year. I don't live with her anymore.
Good transition, though. Talking about opinion stories. Check out the new series under the opinion section where Ryan Lyko, a nearly 50-year-old student returning to SDSU after a 25-year hiatus, describes what it's like being the old man on campus. There's going to be a reoccurring series.
And Ella Kirby describes how most students lack financial literacy to truly achieve long-term success. She talks with David Meter as he emphasizes the importance of establishing a credit score. And Kirby also highlights the importance of early investments, basic budgeting, and why it all matters.
Now, upcoming, look for these stories also under the opinion section. The second installment of Old Man on Campus with the same author discusses back to school shopping and his own tales about going to Target and seeing dorm decorators. Interesting. Vivian Cody, our opinion editor, discusses how physical media is better than digital media and the importance of picking hobbies that involve little to no technology. In terms of photo and multimedia, if you want some more visual content that isn't this podcast, check out our photo and multimedia coverage of the MECHA protest last week, and you can learn what the protest was all about firsthand. Yeah, basically lots of serious stuff. But let's get into more lax themes.
Yeah.
Anything in pop culture recently? Any movie music recs, Jaylynn?
We could do some music recs. How about you? Let's go to our liked songs.
Okay, deal.
We'll do a quick shuffle play. The top 3 that go, we'll just recommend to just mute your.
Okay, deal.
And then their first 3 songs, shout
I
them
find
out.
that fun.
And
I find that fun.
Give them your recs.
This is like that game they do where you shuffle your entire playlist and see if an embarrassing song is going to show up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what this feels like right now, and it feels like the most embarrassing song is going to show up.
Are you a playlist listener or an album listener?
I'll do a little bit of both.
Okay.
If I'm feeling like particularly like efficient with my music listening, I will always go to albums.
Right.
Like if I have an album in mind, like last one I fully listened to was Earl Sweatshirt all the way through.
Okay.
But if I don't know, usually I'm going to just do a humongous playlist essentially.
I'm the opposite. I'm a
Really?
very avid album listener, like front to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out you. Okay, first song that came up was Cameron Winter. It's off of his not like necessarily new album, so last year, 2024.
Okay.
$0.
Nice.
I've been nonstop listening to this album actually. This is one I listened to front to back from Cameron Winter.
Nice. I've never heard of Cameron Winter.
He's so sad.
Oh.
You know Geese?
No.
He's a part of that band.
I don't.
He's got a very unique singing voice, so I suggest anyone to check it out. He really only has this one album.
Interesting. My first song was This Strange Effect, live at Alien Hall, 1965 by the Kinks. That's another thing too.
Oldie person.
Yes, oldie, but I love live recordings. Sometimes more than studios.
Heard.
So yeah.
Second one for me was Falling Behind by Leve.
Oh.
Classic. Don't
I'm
get me.
seeing her next year. I've actually seen her
Lucky?
already.
Lucky.
Yeah.
I never got to. I was sort of on the Leve train a little bit early, only because of my friend.
During COVID.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I had this one song that would just. I literally listened to her when she had 5 songs out.
I was obsessed with Street by Street and Best Friend. Those were my 2 that really were amazing for me.
Can you mute your phone?
My bad.
You guys, the entire time all I hear bzz, 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 bzz.
Everyone's trying to contact me right now. What's your second song?
It's Gold Rush by Taylor Swift.
Wow.
From her very neglected album
Do
Evermore.
you get embarrassed by Taylor Swift? I know a lot of people have opinions. I really love You Belong With Me.
Not necessarily. I feel like when it comes to Taylor Swift, I'm pretty tame.
We're gonna have a lot of opinion stories about Taylor Swift in this section.
Interesting.
Soon.
Okay, cool. I'm there for it. I
Third?
feel like I'm pretty. Oh, okay.
You gotta remember singing
I got
2 Taylor Swift songs. You go ahead with your third one first, then.
No, I would say I'm pretty qualified to talk about Taylor Swift. I went to the Eras Tour twice.
Okay.
So I would say I'm pretty up there on fans, but I'm not I only listen to Taylor Swift. My next song was 22, but I'm going to get a different one in there. So we have... Oh, this is a good one. Okay, you go first.
Can't Get Over You by Joji.
Okay.
That's just what I was listening to in high school. So
okay.
It's a big...
Are you okay? All of these songs are sad.
Fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
These are all sad artists. Is this a cry for help? I'm mine
Off
are
to you,
happy
Jaylynn.
and awesome. Okay.
They'll be happy next week.
All right. My last song is Last Night on Earth by Green Day. I saw them last year. And that song just they didn't play that song and I was really upset. But it's fine. It's fine. That song though, oh my gosh, guys. Man, that song I've been through some things.
It's beautiful. I think we had a good 3, each of us.
Yeah, I would
Sad
say
or
it's
not sad?
pretty representative of my music taste.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Mine, maybe my music tastes a couple of years
Yeah.
ago. Or average.
Okay.
Anyway, since we did a pretty long music segment, you guys will have to wait for our movie recs until next week.
Boom, boom,
But
boom.
as always, thank you, dearly listeners. We love you. We look forward to your eyes and ears next week. And live from the Lambden Hall basement.
pre-recorded from the...
Oh, sorry. Pre-recorded from the Lambden Hall basement. This has been the Daily Aztec Debrief.